Hey, welcome back. It is fantastic to have you here with me. My name is Dino, and in this mini lecture, I'm going to be talking about structuring information. Look at that beautiful structure. I'm going to be specifically talking about the great Ladislav Sutnar, who's a graphic designer and design theorist. His iconic quote is, quote, "The designer must think first, work later." Man, that guy is deep. I told you he's a good one. Ladislav Sutnar was a graphic designer born in Pilsen, Czechoslovakia, the former Czechoslovakia, and he was alive between 1897 and 1976. He is renowned for being a pioneer of information design, and he's a master of many fields: exhibition design, typography, advertising, posters, magazine design, and book design. And he's a handsome fella, don't you think? He is probably, for your purposes, for someone who may not know this fellow, and you probably don't know him. His biggest claim to fame is that he's the fellow who created the user-friendly telephone directory. So you know when you see the 7-digit number, and it's preceded by the area code, and it's in parentheses. He's the parentheses guy. Didn't know that, did you? He is renowned for as well for his design commissions from McGraw-Hill, the publisher, IBM, and the UN. He has a permanent display of his work in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. He is the author of several books, including Control of Visual Flow, Shape, Line, and Color, Package Design, The Force of Visual Selling, and finally, Visual Design in Action, Principles, Purposes. He has particular visual style in the way that he designs information. That's what we're going to talk about. And then his design reflected his own personal desire for organization in many different ways. For example, he was particular about his use of grids, and he used grids in a very strict layout for his work. In terms of color, he made sure that the color palette that he used was limited and that he used very vivid colors. He was particularly into orange. The color, I'm not sure about the fruit. In terms of typefaces, he had a limited typeface choice. He wouldn't use a ton of different ones. In terms of forms, he would try to use geometric forms that guided the layout of his work. In terms of composition, he liked using asymmetrical composition, so it doesn't always look consistent across the composition across, I could say, multiple pages. This, he believed, would make his work visually interesting. And finally, for inspiration for his work, you can see sort of traces of modernism, the Bauhaus, European avant-gardism, and Die Stil. Here's some examples of his work. This is one of his iconic ones from a catalog for different products and parts. As you see here, there's a really bright, vivid red. There's the cascading red rectangles, 1, 2, 3. The same typeface for the numbers. The use of, again, like these geometric shapes like rectangles, squares, and circles. The design, pleasant, is not symmetrical. It's a little bit asymmetrical, not overwhelmingly asymmetrical, but it's asymmetrical. And again, just a really nice look. Here you see the persistent use of this purplish blue across the various pages. It's a 2-pager. Again, the use of the grids, where the bottom is divided into like 4 quadrants across the 2 pages. Using of these balls as a shape that repeat throughout. Number of beautiful things. This one's a little bit more difficult to sort of interrogate because it's just like an odd design, but it's you know. He talks about the asymmetry and how it provides a dynamism. You see this visualization in the middle of the screen that's at an angle. It really sort of gives it this tilt. This angle gives it a dynamism. Again, there's grids, although this grid is at an angle. The repetition of the grids in the bottom, where you can see the different tires that are shown there. The repeated shapes at the very top. The use of here, there's more different colors used, so that makes it a little bit maybe atypical for his work. But again, it's a visually stunning piece of work. So that was structuring information with our friend, information designer Ladislav Sutnar, and also with me, your humble narrator, Dino. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.